साधनावतिगुं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमं ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पता न शृण्वन्नोतिभिः सीदसादनम् ॐ श्रीमहागणपतये नमः। ॐ प्रणो देवी सरस्वती वाजेभिर्वाजिनीवती धीनामवित्र्यवतु। ॐ सं सरस्वत्यै नमः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। गिरामाहुर्देवीं द्रुहिणगृहिणीमागमविदो हरेः पत्नीं पद्मां हरसहचरीमद्रितनयां तुरीया कापि त्वं दुरधिगमनिस्सीममहिमा महामाया विश्वं भ्रमयसि परब्रह्ममहिषी। ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। Bhagavan Buddha, after long years of his tapas, found some truths. It's known as Arya Satya. Among them one is Sarvam Dukkham Dukkham. But there is a way to come out of it. In our Upanishads also, Shvedashvetara says that Yada charmavad akasham veshtayandiha manavaha tadha shivam abhijnaya dukkhasyanto bhavishyati. All beings in this universe, not only human, everyone, they want to get rid of dukkha. Whatever we are doing, not doing, one of the main reason is no one want to be in suffering. Nobody want to suffer. Nobody want to, go through difficult times in life. Dukkha is something which cannot be accepted by us, so we want to come out of the dukkha. So, sarva dukkha nivritti is the one driving force because of which all of us are in this world doing things, not doing things. So, one thing is that, but sometimes in our life when we check ourselves, we find that there is no dukkha as such. There is enough to eat. There's clothes are there. There is a place to live, and health is okay. But are we satisfied? No. So sarva dukkha nivritti is not enough. Then we need not only sarva dukkha nivritti, but we want to be happy, positively happy. Not only that there are no sufferings in life, but we want to be happy, I want to be happy. So, sarva dukkha nivritti is okay, but it is not the ultimate. We want to be positively happy. That's why Shastra says, not only sarva dukkha nivritti, but parama ananda prapti. So all of us want to be happy, positively happy, but then sometimes we are happy. We are very hungry, and then we got a very nice food, or we met somebody who we love very much. We are happy. Or something, we got a nice lottery. But what happens is we are happy for some time, but then again we fall back. So Shastra says not only Paramananda Prapti, but we should have Nitya Tripti. So all of us, whether human beings or animals or anyone in this universe, all of us, if we analyze our life, whatever we are doing, not doing, is actually for attaining these three things. What are they? Sarva dukkha nivrittihi, paramananda praptihi, nitya triptihi. These are the three aims or goals of life. So that's why in Bhagavad Gita also Bhagavan defined yoga in a very beautiful way. Bhagavan says that, what is this yoga you are talking about? There Bhagavan says, what is that yoga? Yoga is dukkha samyoga viyoga. Dukkha samyoga viyogam yoga sapnitam. See, most of the time we suffer not because of real dukkha, but our mind finds a kind of joy in dukkha. That's why or we are in a nice place, everything is there, good. But what happens? Whenever mind gets a chance, it goes 20 years back. I met this person, and then I smiled at that person, and he did not smile back to me. Because the mind is there is something in our mind which we call as vasanas, because of which what happens, mind tries to derive a kind of life from dukkha. So that's why Bhagavan says in Gita, dukkha samyoga viyoga. Do not allow our mind to brood over different kinds of suffering. Sufferings are there, but we can come out of it. This is human beings especially, even when sufferings are there, problems are there, it is possible for us to come out. So that's why Bhagavan says, anityam asugham lokam imam prapya bhajaswamam. We cannot change. The nature of the world is anitya and asukha. Understand this? And then we can detach ourselves from this anitya asukha loka. That is possible. That is yoga. Now, Bhagavan gave us all this, Then Bhagavan understood that, these human beings, we are considered as the crown of creation. Brahmaji became Mudamapa Devaha. After creating human beings, Brahma became very happy. But then, Bhagavan also understood that this creation cannot be just, allowed to live as it wishes, because all other beings are under the control of Prakriti. They cannot do anything which is not programmed. Human beings are not like that. Although the programming is there, any time they can come out of this programming. It's possible. And we see that, we actually create a havoc in this entire universe. We create lots of trouble. Now, because Bhagavan understood this, Bhagavan thought that if these human beings should be, able to live a harmonious life, I should teach them how to live. So, in order to take care of us, in order to lead us through that, the path of life to this fulfillment, Bhagavan gave us some manuals of life, which is known as shastra. Shastram. Shasanat shastram. That which, helps us. That which directs us. That which actually, take us and then slowly lead us to the goal of our life. What is the goal of life? Sarva dukkha nivritti, paramananda prapti, nitya trapti. So those, are known as, that is known as shastra. Shasanat shastram. And the part which we are all aware of, shastra, is that it's known as Vaidika Shastra. Bhagavan gave this Shastra by Vedas to us. Tasya Nishwasitam Vedaha. So, Vedas, Upavedaha, Vedangaha, based on the Shastra, Veda, many directions, how to live, how to fulfill our life. Bhagavan gave us all kinds of directions, and the entire that branch of science is known as Vaidika Sahitya. Vedas and Upavedas, and then, Vedangaha, then based on the Veda, Vedanga, etc., then there is Nyaya, then Dharma Shastra. And Bhagavan is always watching us, Although a child may forget father and mother, but the father and mother cannot forget the child, So he is our Tumeva Mata cha Pitar Tumeva. He is our father, he is our mother, he is our grandfather also. He is everything. So he cannot just leave us. So what happened that Bhagavan understood that Vaidika Sahitya is there, but not enough. We classify the time into four types of, four categories as Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, and Kali Yuga. Bhagavan understood in Satya Yuga, Vedas are enough. But when the Treta Yuga started, along with the Vedas, Smritis also appeared. So in Treta Yuga, Vedas are also there, Smriti is also there. And when it became Dwapara, then Puranas also appeared. Vedas are there, not enough. Smritis are there, not enough. Puranas are also there. So Bhagavan was able to, help people of those yuga. Now came Kali. So Vedas are there, Puranas are there, Smritis are there. Bhagavan understood a different kind of shastra is needed in Kali Yuga. So Bhagavan gave us Tantra Shastra. See, now please understand one thing, that when Shastra talks about the four yuga, that yugas are not only something which happened in once upon a time, it's always there. all the four yugas coexist. Means what? There are some of us who are still living in Satyuga. There are some of us who are living in Treta Yuga, some of us in Dwapara, and most of us are in Kali Yuga. That's the only difference. In our life also, sometime we are in Satyuga. Morning when we get up, we take a bath and we sit for our meditation. Our mind is very calm and quiet. We are in Satyuga. The moment Rajas starts to appear, we enter into Treta. Little more tamas also comes, then we enter into the Dwapara. When tamas is prominent, we enter into Kali Yuga. So these 4 yugas are not something which happened once upon a time. This is which is coexist. It is there now. So that's why in some of us, if you see the world, some of us, they can just go into meditation without any, naturally they can go to meditation. Their mind is comparatively very calm and quiet. They can concentrate very quickly. They don't need much of, outside help. Their mind naturally goes because they are still living in Satyuga. But as I was telling, most of us at this point of time, we live in Kali Yuga. Now, so in our case also, sometimes we are in Satyuga, sometimes in Treta or Dwapara, but most of the time we are in Kali. Now, what is the problem of Kali? The problem of Kali is Kali has a power, a kind of maya with the Kali that it makes 2 things. One, even though we know, we forget. See, we study shastra, we know things, but at the time where that shastra should be helpful, that time we forget. That's why sometimes people ask us, Swamiji, you have studied all this Vedanta, all this Gita, Upanishad, but what happened to you? Sometimes they ask us also, you all go to all this satsanga, everything, but what is the difference? Kali has that power. Even though we know, at that moment, it makes us forget. Now, Kali has another power. That is known as the misunderstanding. We think that we understood the Shastra, but see, if I don't understand, it's okay, because we will try again. But if I think that I understood, andhenaiva niyamana yathandaha. So we became blind, and then we are walking, and we are going to fall. Kali has this power to create this kind of misunderstandings in the heart of people. Now Bhagavan understood that, this all Vaidika Sahitya is very, very, very good. Smritis are good, Puranas are good, but in Kali, that's why all of us also ask, Swamiji, how to meditate? We ask this question, how to meditate? But the Dhyana Shastra says that meditation is not something to do something. It is a state, but still we think, okay, understood, but how? Because this Kriya, in Kali Yuga, our mind is tuned in such a way that we are always thinking about to do. Kya karu? Now, what should I do? Anything. Dhyana, Samadhi. The mind is Kriya Marga. Kriya, action, is very much there in this, Kriya Marga, Kriya Chinta is very much there in our mind when we are in the Kali Yuga. So Bhagavan understood that now I have to teach these people how to do things. So Bhagavan introduced a new, branch of science which is known as Tantra Shastra. What do you mean by Tantra Shastra? Tantra Shastra is the science of techniques. Tantra means technique. That's why Urja Tantra. Physics is known as Urja Tantra. Chemistry is known as Rasa Tantra. Tantra, technique. Okay, how the Urja can be applied. So Tantra Shastra is the applied science. Swamiji, why are you going to Tantra Shastra, etc.? Because we are supposed to learn Saundarya Lahari, and Saundarya Lahari's Hridaya is Tantra. So unless we get a overall understanding of Tantra Shastra, it is very difficult for us to really appreciate, understand and follow Saundarya Lahari. So we should know what is this Tantra Shastra is, because it is a Tantrika Kriti. Suppose I want to study Panchadashi, but I have no understanding of Vedanta. It is very difficult to understand because we have no idea only what Vedanta is, and then we take up a higher text of Vedanta. It's very difficult to. So before we enter into this great Shastra, sometimes people say that the Saundarya Lahari is a stotra kriti of Sri Shankaracharya. It is written in poetry, but it is a pure shastra. It is not just just praise. There are many stutis, but the Ananda Lahari, at least the Ananda Lahari, the first 41 verses of the Saundarya Lahari is known as Ananda Lahari. That is pure shastra. And if you want to really understand and appreciate this, we should know some basics of Tantra Shastra. Then only we can actually go into deep and enjoy and appreciate and practice the Saundarya Lahari. So, before we enter into this great science of Saundarya Lahari, we should have some basic understanding of this Tantra Shastra. That's why we started with Tantra. Because otherwise, why Tantra Shastra class? Because without the proper understanding of this basic, the understanding of our Vishaya is not possible. See, if you are in for a Vedanta class, we don't need a very, a detailed introduction, because most of us understand Vedanta in one way or other. But Tantra Shastra, we always hear Tantra, but what actually it is, we don't get a chance to listen to the intricacies and the basis of Tantra Shastra. So first we will see, we'll try to get a basic understanding of this Shastra, then we will enter into the text. So, we said Tantra. What is the meaning of Tantra? In Sanskrit, there are 25 meanings for the word Tantra. According to the Tantra Shastra, they give at least 25 meanings for that word Tantra. Now, among them, one of the very famous definition of Tantra is Tanyate. It comes from the root Tana. Tanyate vistaryate jnanam anena iti Tantra. What is Tantra? Tantra is Tanyate. Tanyate means what? Vistaryate. What? Jnanam. So what is Tantra? Tantra is that branch of science which expands the knowledge and wisdom, which is already there in Vedas. Sometimes people, many of the acharyas or many of the scholars, they say that Tantra has nothing to do with Veda Bahya. No. The understandings of Tantra or the basics of Tantra is in Veda. But what happened is, because of many reasons, the Vaidika Sahitya became limited to only to some people. So because of many reasons, the Vedas were not available for the majority of people. Ladies were not allowed to learn the Vedas. Women were not allowed. Shudradi also not. Slowly, although Trivarnikas are entitled to learn, but only Brahmanas came to such a level that only Brahmanas were allowed. Now Brahmanas are allowed. How many Brahmanas actually learn Vedas? Very few. So the entire knowledge and wisdom which is there, which was given to us by Bhagavan, were also become very limited. So what Tantra does? Tantra Shastra, in Tantra Shastra, everyone is Adhikari. In whichever stage you are, whether I am an ignorant person or I am a very learned person or I am a wise man, everyone is allowed in Tantra Shastra. Stri, Shudra, Bahya, Panchama, everyone. But then that also created problem. But the Tantra opened the doors of knowledge and wisdom to everyone. So that's why Tantra is Tantra, because Vistaryate Jnanam. Tantra is that Shastra which opened up the doors of wisdom to everyone. Whoever want to know, in whichever state they are, the knowledge was given to them. The knowledge which they will be able to understand, appreciate and practice. Now, so that's why Tantra is known as Tada Vistare. Now, second meaning of Tantra, the word Tantra comes from Tantra Dhatu. Tantra means to rule. Tantrate anena iti tantraha. Tantra is that which helps us to rule over. Rule over whom? Rule over our own mind, our own instincts, our own shortcomings, our own self. See, please understand, this is one very important thing about the Shastra, Tantra Shastra is, Tantra Shastra accepts everyone as they are. It doesn't say that you come up to this level, okay, and then we will see. Now, Vedanta says that you are welcome to the path of Vedanta. When? That's why the first sutra of Brahma Sutra, the first pada of Brahma Sutra is Atha. Atha means Anantaram. Afterwards. After what? Sadhana Chatushtaya Sampatti Anantaram Brahma Jijnasa Kartavya. Viveka, Vairagya, Samadhi Shatka Sambatti, Mumukshutva. When you first go and gain all this and come, then you are welcome into this royal path of Vedanta. Tantra never says this. Tantra says, wherever you are welcome. That's why the Tantra divides the entire human being into three categories. One category is known as Pashu. Second is known as Veera. Third is known as Divya. as I was telling, in each one of us also this is possible, okay? Sometimes we are Pashu, sometimes we are Veera, sometimes we are Divya. Okay, but generally, whichever is more prominent, accordingly the Tantra Shastra divides the entire human race into three categories. Now, who is a Pashu? Pashu is a person who ruled over by tamas. Tamas is the ruling. Tamas is so strong in them. So they do whatever they want to do. They are slaves of their indriyas. They are slaves to their mind. No, they can't come out. They are like Pashu. Pashyati the Pashu. What is the meaning of Pashu? Pashu means always searching. Searching for food, searching for water, searching for sukha. Where? In the external world. So, when we are also searching and searching and searching for, small things in this world, we are all Pashu, according to Tantra Shastra. Now, when Rajas becomes a little more prominent in us, we can. See, I am hungry, but no, today is Ekadashi, I am not going to eat. Many people can't do that. If they are hungry, if they don't eat, then you should not go near them. They become so angry that day because if they can't. They go according to that so much under the control of the Prakriti. They can't come out. They can't even. So comes the next where they can. That Rajas is there, and such people are known as Veera. They are brave. They are ready to walk against the flow. Now in them, tamas is there, okay? But Rajas is little more strong. Now comes the third category, where they find peace and harmony, not only in their seat of meditation, but in a confused world. So, whenever there are problems are there in the world, but even in the midst of all these kinds of problems and troubles, they can live a life of peace and harmony. Such people are there. They are known as Divya. Divya Manava. Pashu, Veera and Divya. They are more sattvic in nature. Now, Tantra Shastra is not telling that only Divyas can enter into this path of Tantra. Even Pashu also can enter. Even Veera also can enter. Of course, Divya also. So accordingly, Tantra takes different forms for all these categories of the human race. This is the beauty, this is the importance of Tantra Shastra. Please understand this. Tantra can come to the lowest level and help to evolve. It's not say that, okay, you are a Pashu, go away. No. No, to anyone. Tantra comes down and then slowly, Tantra Shastra becomes, see, this is something which we should always, and all of us should meditate upon, because sometimes we think that what exists in this our society, sometimes we call them, durachara, or, because we don't appreciate it. Like we have Bali and such things, which we don't appreciate. We cannot even think about that. But understand that there are people who needs that. When we abolish things, totally, because we are in Sattva Avastha, but there are 80% of people who can't come back to that level. So Tantra is a Shastra which goes into, the lowest level also, and then slowly help them to evolve. That's why, Tantra is a passage Tantra is a road. Tantra is a passage from gross to subtle. Beautiful path. So sometimes we think, oh, what a gross things, we'll discuss them. So, but slowly it will go to the subtle state. And from superficial things, in Tantra sadhana there are many superficial things which will slowly help us to reach the essential. And Tantra is the path. Tantra is the road from the apparent to the real. And Tantra is that shastra which actually help each and every being. Not only help, but protects. That's why Tanute Trayate cha nityam tantramiti vidurbudhaha. Because Tantra Shastra is such a Shastra which is, so much compassionate acharyas. They come to the level of each and every being, not only human, and then slowly help them to evolve from whichever state they are. So, now another thing is there. Tantra Shastra is a Shastra which accepts everything. What do you mean by that? Says, Sarve Purusharthaha Yena Tanyande Trayande Cha Idi Tantram. What is Tantra? Sarve Purusharthaha. Not only Moksha Purushartha. No, there are 4 Purusharthas. What are they? Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. Sarve Purusharthaha Tanyande Trayande Cha. Tantra is that Shastra which helps us to even gain Artha. Tantra is that Shastra which helps us to fulfill Kama. Not only Mahapurushartha or Paramapurushartha, but Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. All these 4. And Tanyante, that which helps us to achieve all the Purusharthas and also protects our Purusharthas. Tantra helps us to protect Artha. Tantra helps us to protect Kama. Tantra helps us to protect Dharma. And Tantra helps us to gain Paramapurushartha. That's why Bhukti Mukti Pradayini. When we think about Jagadambika, you will always hear this word, Bhukti Mukti Pradayini. This Shastra is something which gives Bhukti also, Mukti also. Now, here there is, like in Vedantic path, they say that it's not possible because, you cannot be at the same time Bhukti and Mukti is not possible. But what Tantra is trying to tell us is, suppose I have a desire for a thing in the world, okay? So, Tantra Shastra helps us to enjoy that, that thing or that state or that karma in such a way that mind becomes quiet. Most of the time, there are so many vasanas which are there in us because we are not able to really enjoy the karma. See, we wanted to have masala dosa. Staying in the ashram for 4 or 5 days and having their food, we think that the moment I go from here, I'm going to have ideas and then have masala dosa. Okay? So we thought that, and then this is what we are thinking. The moment the camp is over, first we go to the hotel and order for a masala dosa. Masala dosa comes in front of us. The moment the masala dosa comes, our mind is shifted to something else. Now we are thinking about, if when I go to home, there's not my milk, and we are eating, but we are having, but we are not enjoying it. Tantra Shastra tells or teaches or trains us to go through the karma so that it's, you are really enjoyed it, fulfilled it, so that there is no more vasana comes again. This is the Tantra's point of view. Once you enjoy it thoroughly, then we understand nothing is there. That's it. We have to come back again and again because we ate masala dosa, but we have not enjoyed it. We forgot. We were thinking something else. So we think, okay, this was not good. Let me go to Madras and then I will have again. So this is the beauty of this Shastra. That's why they say that Sarvartha Yena Tanyande Trayande Cha Bhayajjanan Idi Tantrasya Tantratvam Tantratnya Parichakshase. Sarvartha Yena Tanyande Trayande Cha Bhayat Janan. That which protects people from bhaya. Fear. See why fear comes? Upanishad says, Didiyadvai bhayam bhavati. I am afraid of you, you are afraid of me, because we think that we are two. In Upanishad, Aitarayam, etc., there's a passages about the creation and all that. That time, the Upanishad says that now Garbhinyaha Passarantu, all those pregnant women should go out now. Why? Because the passages are talking about this duality and all that. The moment the mother feels that this baby is different from me, the body will reject. The body will not accept any foreign bodies. So why we reject, why we are in this kind of conflict? We think that I am different, you are different. Now what is Tantra is trying to teach us? Tantra is trying to show the oneness. Even when there is duality. So that's why I say, Bhayat Trayante Cha Janan. How is this possible? How is it possible for Tantra to protect people from bhaya? There are many means. As I said, there is tamasika, rajasika and sattvika aspects in Tantra by which they protect us. Why we have shat karmas are there. Marana, Mohana, Stambhana, Vaishya, Unmadana, everything is there. But then, so that is tamasika. Then we have Anima, Likima, Mahima, Girima, all those siddhis are there. That also protects. More than that, sattvika, how it is says, Tvam atra tatra sarvatra idi tantraha. What is tantra? Tvam atra tatra sarvatra. What is tantra is trying to teach us this oneness. Even when there are differences. To see the oneness in differences, that is the Shastra of Tantra. So, says, Sarvam Jnana Rashihi Vistarena Vistrunoti Yat Shastram Tat Tantra Shastram. Also different layers of Jnana. Not only one Moksha Shastra, Moksha Jnana, but the Jnanam which is related to the human existence. That all are dealt and explained. Now again we studied Tranana. Shastra says, what is this Tranana? He said, Tanutraya Taranamiti Tantram. What is Tantra? Tanutraya Taranam. Tantra is Taranam. No, Tantra Shastra is, Tantra Vidya is Tarini. What is this Tarini Vidya? What is this Tantra Shastra? That which Trananam Karodi Kim? Tanutrayam. We all have three bodies. Our Stula, Sukshma, Karana Sharira. So what do you mean by protecting these three Sharira? One, to protect. Tantra Shastra actually helps us to protect our Sukshma Sharira, Karana Sharira and Stula Sharira. through different kinds of kriya. But the rahasya is not that. Rahasya is, what is the tranana? The real tranana is to liberate us from the attachment from these all three bodies. As long as I am identified with these three bodies, I am a Pashu. Tantra Shastra help us to understand that these three bodies are my bodies, they are my equipments, not me. So, Tanutraya Taranam. These bodies, these three bodies, Tanus are there, and then, Tantra Shastra help us to come out of it. Come out of what? Not come out of the body, come out of the identification with Tantra. Now one more. As I said, there are many, there are sometimes some 23. If we see only, then we will not get time to see other. One more. Says Shastra, what is this Tantra? What is this Tranana? Says, avidyataha trayate sarvan iti Tantra. What is Tantra? Tantra is that Shastra, avidyataha trayate. That which protects us from avidya. So, what is avidya? Anitya, ashuchi, dukkha, anatmasu. Nitya, shuchi, sukha, atmakhyatihi avidya. You are talking about avidya. What is this avidya? Avidya is wrong knowledge. It's a khyati, wrong understanding, misinformation. What misinformation? What is the wrong knowledge? Says, anitya, there is something which is anitya, but we think that it is nitya. Anitya, ashuchi, this sharira, don't take bath for 2 days. We ourselves, what is this? Ashuchi, impurities. But we feel that this is very shuchi, very pure we feel. Anitya, ashuchi, dukkha. We know, please don't take that sixth dosha. If you take that sixth dosha is very good, nice, very thin, very crispy. We know that I should not eat this. But we can't. Then we will have it. Oh, gone that day. So we know that something is dukkha. We know. But, so dukkha, in that dukkha we have a khyati, that it is sukha. And anatma. We know that we are not all these things. That's why we call my. See, when I say this is my book, what I mean is this is not me. Like that I say my sharira, my body, my mind, my intellect. I know that this is my intellect, this is my body. But somehow, because of the avidya, atasmin tatbuddhihi, because of that what happens? We think that this is me. So I say this is my body, but when you touch this body, what I say? Why you touched me? So, what is ajnana? Ajnana is this. Anitya, ashuchi, dukkha, anatmasu. Nitya, shuchi, sukha, atmakhyatihi, avidya. And what is Tantra? Tantra is avidyataha trayate iti Tantra. You see, Tantra is it's a great blessing for this entire universe because it removes avidya and makes us free. We are all caged. Now we are all in a cage, but we do not know. Tantra is that great science which opens the cage and makes us swatantra. Now, next thing. See, in this philosophy or in that the tradition of Tantra, there are many words which are used. Sometimes we feel that they are all different, but in Tantra Shastra, they're all synonyms. They all mean the same thing. So there is a word known as agama. There's a word known as nigama. There's a word known as tantra. There's a word known as damara. There's another word known as yamala. So we hear different words. Actually, they are all means the same category of shastra. Small differences, but they all comes under the same category. So first word we should, so why I am telling this? Because when we see, when we read the shastra, sometimes they use the word agama. So generally, outside the Tantra Shastra, agama means Veda. But in Tantra Shastra, what is agama? Agadam shivavaktratatu, gadam chagirija srutau, matam cha vasudevasya, tenagama iti smrutah. What is agama? 3 words are there. A-ga-ma. Agatam, that which came. Agatam shivavaktratcha. That which came out of the mouth of Shiva. Gadam cha girija srutau. And which is listened by Girija, Parvati. Matam cha vasudevasya. That which is the mother, that which is appreciated by Bhagavan, Vasudeva, that is agama. Agama. So what is it? What is agama? Agama means that Tantra Shastra, that Shastra which is given by Sri Parameshwara himself to Parvati. So there we say Parvati Parameshwara Samvada. Parameshwara Parvati Samvada. Parameshwara is the Guru, Parvati is the listener. That is known as agama in Tantra Shastra. Okay? Because the same word agama is used some places like in Vedanta also, Veda also. But here in Tantra Shastra, agama means Shaivam. Shaivam means what? Which comes from Shiva. That which is given by Shiva to Parvati. Now another word is there, nigamaha. Again, nigama is also in Tantra, in the Vaidika Sahitya, nigama is also Veda. Okay, nigama kalpataror galitam phalam. There nigama means Veda only. But in Tantra Shastra, nigama means nirgadam girija vaktrat gadancha girisha srutau matancha vasudevasya nigamah parikalpyate. What is nigama? What is agama? Shiva is the teacher and Parvati is listening. That is agama. Nigama is nirgatam girija vaktrat. Sri Parvati Devi is speaking. Gadancha girisha srutau, which is listened by Girisha. And matancha vasudevasya. So nigama, that which is given by Sri Parvati, Sri Bhagavati, and Sri Bhagavan, Sri Parameshwara himself is the listener. That set of shastras are known as nigama. Third is yamala. Yamala means what? Yugala devatas. Like the devata and devata's Shakti. Okay? There is a conversation between the devata and devata's Shakti. So that conversation is known as the yamalam. So there is Brahma yamala. So Brahma and Sarasvati, they are speaking. And there is Rudra yamala. There is Vishnu yamala. So Mahavishnu is speaking, Sri Mahalakshmi is listening. There is Ganesha yamala. There is Adi yamala. Like there are many yamalas. Yamalas are also sets of tantric works. Srishtischa jodishakyanam nitya kritya pradipanam kramasutram varna bhedaha jadi bhedastadhaivacha yuga dharmascha sankhyatam yamalasya ashtalakshanam. Yamala is also Tantra Shastra where 8 things are explained. What are they? Srishtischa, creation. Jyotishakyanam, about the, Jyotisha, not the, astrology. Jyotisha means the knowledge of the Chandra, Surya, Adi, luminous. And Nitya Kritya Pradipanam. What is our Nitya Kritya? Our daily routine. Krama Sutram. What is the Krama? We'll study what is Krama, etc. And Varna Bhedaha. What are the different kinds of Varna? And Jati Bhedaha. See, Varna and Jati are different. That's not one. Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudras are different. Jati is different. Varna and Jati are not one. So Tantra makes this very clear. So Varna Bhedo Jati Bhedasha Tadaiva Yuga Dharmascha. See, the dharma changes according to Yuga. So what is right in Satya becomes sometimes wrong in Kali. So that is known as Yamalam. Now fourth is known as Damaraha. What is Damara? Damara means Shiva Parshadaha. Sri Parameshwara is giving the instructions to Bhagavan's Parshadas. Yoga Damara, Shiva Damara, Durga Damara. There are many such texts. Sometimes, understand this Damaras are also part and parcel of the Tantra Shastra. So when we hear Tantra, when we hear Agama, when we hear Nigama, when we hear this, Yamala, when we hear this Damara, etc., understand that these are all part and parcel of the one and the same branch of science, which generally known as Tantram. Now there is a sixth one. It is known as Bauddham. See, the Tantra Shastra is also highly developed in the Buddhistic, that's why they have one path itself known as the Vajrayana. So in Vajrayana Paddhati, Shakyamuni, Shakyamuni is the Acharya mainly, and Taradevi is the worshipful Devata, and then they have a pantheon of, gods in that category, and they have a very full-fledged Tantra practices, and, it's known as the Bauddha Tantra. In Bauddha Tantra, sometimes if you want to read, etc., there is one very famous book known as Manjushri Moolakalpa. Manjushri is one of their Devata. Manjushri Moolakalpa and Guhya Samaja Tantram. These two are very famous works in the Bauddha Tantra, and they have enough, works in there. So, but we don't consider Bauddha Tantra as part of the, our Agamiga tradition because they ends up in Shunyavada. They have Devatas, but Devatas are also beings. And Sarvam Shunyam, the end, where there is a lot of difference between the other, our Sanatana Dharmika, Tantra and Bauddha. Anyhow, but Bauddham also, they have their own Tantric Paddhati. Okay. Now, when you say that Agama and Tantra, etc., what are the different topics dealt in Agama? Says, Srishtischa pralayaschaiva devatanam tadharchanam sadhanam chaiva sarvesham purascharanameva षट्कर्म साधनम चैव ज्ञान योगश्चतुर्विधः सप्तभिर्लक्षणैर्युक्तम् आगमं तद्विदुर्बुधाः. What is Tantra Shastra? Sapta Lakshana. Puranam Panjalakshana. Puranas are Panjalakshana. Like that, the Tantra Shastra, there are Sapta Lakshana. 7 Lakshanas are there in Tantric texts. What are they? Srishtischa, Srishti, creation. Pralayas-chaiva, about the pralaya, how the creation happens, how it goes back into the source. And devatanam tadharchanam. So Srishti and pralaya is there in Puranas also. The Tantra Shastra, special one is Devata and Archana. Understanding the nature of different Devatas and how to worship them. And sadhanam chaiva sarvesham. And all of us, as I was telling, we are in different categories. Some of us are in Pashu category, some are in Veera category, some are in Divya category. For all of us, sadhanam, what is the means for our... it's like the very beautifully, this is from Varahi Tantra. Varahi Tantra says that, see, don't look down upon the Pashu. Okay? Pashu category or Veera category or Divya category. They are not different. Very beautifully the Tantra says that. So you see, you look at a bud. A bud is there. The bud is Pashu. And when that bud is blossoms, it becomes a beautiful flower. That is Veera. And when that flower becomes a fruit, that is Divya. So see, this is the uniqueness of Tantra Shastra. Tantra Shastra understands the inner connection. Now, Tantra Shastra understands even when we are Pashu, we have the potential nature to become Divya. Like when we see a bud and a fruit is so different. But Tantra Shastra helps the bud to become a flower naturally and a flower to become a fruit. That's why they say, sadhanam chaiva sarvesham. In whichever category we are falling, Tantra Shastra gives, there is a path, there is a way for everyone. See, if I am a Pashu, if somebody asks us, no, let us meditate, sit down, close your eyes. The moment we close our eyes, we go to deep sleep. We means the Pashu, because they can't. So what Shastra should do? No, you go out. No. So what? No, the Tantra Shastra comes to their level, and what you like? I like to have Madhya, Mamsa. Okay, very good. We'll help you. See, it goes into that level. We'll say Panchamakaras, etc. We'll discuss about it, and comes to their level, and then slowly bring them up. So this is known as sadhanam chaiva sarvesham. There is something for each and every being, because all beings are potentially divine. Sadhanam chaiva sarvesham purascharanamevacha. Next subject is purascharana. To take up the sadhanas in a very serious manner. We'll come to that in detail. Then shat karma sadhanam chaiva. There are 6 karmas. Now, Shanti Paustika, then Mohana, Sammohana, then that is the Marana, and then Shat Karmas are there. We'll come to that. All these Shat Karmas, 6 karmas, how it is applicable to a Pashu, to a Veera, also to a Divya. Shat Karma. Dhyana Yoga Chaturvidaha. Then there are Tantra Padaha. There are 4 parts in Tantra. Then that will discuss. Saptabhir. So these are the 7 things which should be there in a Tantra Shastra. So let us start with Tantra Padaha. What are the 4 parts which should be there in a Tantra Shastra? It should be there. This is, Jnana Yoga Chaturvidhaha. There are 4 kinds of, 4 parts. There should be 4 parts in Shastra. And which are they? First one is known as Jnana Padaha. Chatushpada Vidya. Vidya is Chatushpad. Vidya will have 4 legs. The entire Vidya stands on 4 legs. Or, as Bhagavan Shankaracharya will explain in Mandukya Upanishad, this pada is not only like 4 pada, it is like the 4 quarters. Like 1 rupee, there are 425 paisas. So 125 paisas is 1 quarter. So there are 4 padas in the Tantra Shastra. What are they? First is Jnana Pada. Jnana Pada is the philosophy and metaphysics. Okay, the entire philosophy, very beautiful philosophy. Now what happens in, as I was telling you, the Tantra is not telling that the world is mithya. Tantra Shastra is not starting with this understanding or this vada that the world is mithya. Okay, so they accept, and then they slowly take us into the different levels and then takes to the highest. But so they have a very beautiful philosophy, very nice philosophy, a very beautiful metaphysics is there in this Tantra Shastra. And so that is known as Jnanapada. So this Jnanapada, when we read, we understand that it's a combination of the Sankhya and Vedanta. See, please understand, the culmination of Tantra Shastra is in Ekatva. Okay, so Ekatva, that oneness, the experience of oneness, that is the core of Tantra. That is the ultimate goal of Tantra. It's not only just telling or intellectual understanding. Tantra Shastra makes us experience this oneness. So, that is the first part known as Jnanapada. Second is Yogapada. So, what is Yogapada? See, whatever we have learned in Jnanapada, how it can be applied. So, yoga means the path and the goal. Yujyate, that which unites. So, the path which will take us to the union and the union itself, both. So, Yogapada actually takes us to the, is talking about the Vidya, known as Kundalini Vidya. The path of yoga, of Tantra, is mainly that Kundalini Vidya. We'll discuss about it later. So that Kundalini Vidya, and then there are different kinds of yoga. Nada Yoga, Laya Yoga, there are different paths. Okay, so the Yoga Pada shows us different kinds of special practices according to the nature of each one of us. Not only for a very, evolved Divya Sadhaka, even for a Pashu Sadhaka also, there are techniques. The techniques are known as Yoga Pada. Third is known as Kriya Pada. See, the one of the beautiful aspect of Tantra Shastra understands that human beings are a social being. There are, in the creation, there are different kinds of beings. Some they live alone. Only the time of, reproduction, etc., they come together and then they part again. There are beings like that. But human beings are not like that. We need society. See, Tantra is very practical in its approach. Says that if human beings are not connected with the society, if a person is not ready to go into the ekanta, if he forcefully taken to ekanta, there's all possibilities that that person may go mad. Why? Because we are social beings. We need the society. Tantra accepts this. And see, the society sometimes very helpful, but society also sometimes becomes very, difficult part, because of which we cannot actually go into, higher levels of existence. So, what Tantra does? Tantra uses the society for the, evolvement of each and every being. That's why third pada is known as Kriya Pada. That is a communal upasana. That's why Tantra Shastra speaks about temples. The entire, this concept of temple comes from Tantra Sadhana. Tantra. How to construct a temple, how to do the consecration of the temple, and And now what we should do in the temple, not only in temple, yaga, yajna, not the Vaidika yaga yajna. See, if you see nowadays, what we call as, yaga, yajna is more of the tantric nature. We go to a temple, we do Ganapati Homa. Do you think the Ganapati Homa is a tantric, is a Vedic vidhi? It's actually the vidhi, that how it is conducted is more from the tantric background. You do Chandika Homa. Most of the whatever nowadays which happens is basically comes from the tantric background. Although Agni is there. So the temple construction, the pujas and the homas, and another concept Tantra puts forth is the tirthadana, pilgrimage. So they talk about 64 Shakti Pedas and then 12 Jyotirlingas and the 4 this and that. This all concept is coming actually not from Vedas. This entire concept of tirthadana, pilgrimage, and then there are places which have special powers. This actually comes from tantric understanding. Okay, and then, so what is that Kriyapada is trying to teach us? Kriyapada tries to teach us harmony in life. We should understand, we should accept that we are human beings, we are social beings. And how we can bring this harmony in the society? How can we bring the harmony in the household life? How can we bring the harmony in oneself? So the Kriyapada is actually a spiritual, help us to develop a spiritual outlook, even wherever we are. Okay, I'm a butcher, but even when I'm doing that kind of a karma, how can I develop a kind of understanding? How can I live whenever a papa karma I'm doing because of whatever reason, because of the social setup? How can I rise myself, above all this? This is what Kriyapada teaches. Jnanapada, Yogapada, Kriyapada. Fourth one is known as Chajyapada. Chajyapada means is the path of spiritual evolution through personal discipline in day-to-day life. So Chajya, Dinachajya, how we should live in this world so that we are living in the world. But the world is not living in us. The boat should be in the water, but the water should not enter into the boat. And Chajyapada teaches us this. Even when we are in the world, we are in the midst of everything. How can we live a life without getting entangled into this? So that is known as Chajyapada. So personal discipline in life, code of conduct, Nitya karma, Naimittika karma, Srishti karma, modes of speech, Parapashyandi, etc., etc., Akshara Tattva, Mantra Shastra, Yantra Shastra, Devata, Dhyana, all such small, many topics are discussed in the Chajyapada. So with this all 4 pada, Jnanapada, Yogapada, Kriyapada and Chajyapada, our functions, our action, our walk, our mind, our thoughts, they are all regulated. They are all, assimilated and help us to evolve into our true nature. So in this way, Tantra does the expansion of the wisdom which is already there in the Vedas to each and every one in whichever state they are, and it slowly help us to evolve and then attain the spiritual freedom. So that is the padas of Tantra. Now we'll talk about other aspects of Tantra in next class.